Sometimes Latin names can be useful to help you remember a plant, and this tree is a good example. Populus deltoides, because the leaf is in the shape of a delta or a triangle. But I got a whole series of videos on the aspens or the popples, and my main use for them is the sticky buds, which even though it's late August, I'm finding the sticky buds on here, and that's what they use to make balm of Gilead. You can use that to relieve aching muscles, and also the buds themselves and the little end twigs contain a compound that is the equivalent of aspirin. I just ate one of those buds, so I've got the sticky resin all over my teeth. But there's just another plant, and it's growing right next to the willow. I could go down this trail and probably name off 100 different plants and probably give 2 or 3 uses for each one. I'm definitely not going to make it to my mushroom hunting spot. I've just stepped across the trail again, directly across from those aspens, and here's some stinging nettle growing. Now, stinging nettle is another good plant to know because it has edible leaves. I wouldn't eat it this late in the season because, from what I understand, once nettle gets too big, it starts developing compounds that can cause you some kind of problems, kidney problems, liver problems, I'm not sure. I've seen a few reports that said that, so once it gets big, once it gets up in the summer, I don't mess with it. But it's another good cordage plant. It generally goes tall and straight. And you can take those fibers out of there and use it to make rope or cordage, and it makes a pretty strong rope. So it's a good plant to know because it's a great edible. For one, the leaves contain a huge amount of protein, and that's hard to find in the plant world in a green plant. So it's a good plant to know for that because it's a huge source of protein, which is something our body needs a lot of. Now the other thing is it's a medicinal plant. In the old days they would take this plant and they would whip, lightly brush or whip their arms anywhere they had a sore aching joint or muscle, and those stingers release something into your skin that stimulates the blood and is thought to relieve the effects of arthritis and carpal tunnel syndrome and things along that line. But before I leave this plant, I just wanted to show you these flower and seed structures, because you may not be able to find this plant early in the spring when it's small, but if you come out in August like this, it'll be tall and it'll stand out pretty good, and it'll have these fairly distinct, long, straight flower seed structures on it. And you can mark this plant because it's a perennial, and it'll grow up every year in the same spot, and it'll just make a bigger and bigger patch. So there you go. Something to look for when you're out in the late summer, like right now. Another young sumac tree, shrub, nightshade, raspberry bush. You can tell a raspberry from a blackberry by the stem. Raspberries have a white powder that will rub off. Just look and you'll see it. Blackberries don't. Right next to that is some variety of mint. Mints all have a square stem. There's other plants that appear to have a square stem, but the mints have a truly square stem. And typically they smell like mint. This is probably catnip based on the flowers. Right next to that, a bunch of more nightshade. But this is a really good plant to know. Jewelweed typically grows in wet areas. It's these little orange flowers. I believe sometimes it can have yellow flowers as well. But it's a succulent type plant, and it's the best cure for bug bites. Just take the leaf. I find that the leaf tips work best because they have the most juice in them, and it's just like calamine lotion. It's real juicy. Rub that on your insect bite and it'll pretty much cure it instantly. And another thing is, this is supposed to be a good cure for poison ivy, but I can't test that out because I'm just not allergic to poison ivy. More of the fireweed, more burdock. There's the burrs on the burdock. Here's another plant that I really like because it has a few different uses. This is red osier dogwood. Some people call it red willow, but it's not truly a willow, it's a dogwood, and the way you tell the difference. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments and support.